Welcome to another episode of Pick Me Up Sis podcast, and this is ending the Family Ties series of Pick Me Up Sis podcast. Keisha, how have you been enjoying the Family Ties series? Having all our wonderful family members and friends coming in to join us at Pick Me Up Sis podcast.
Yeah. So I've been enjoying it a lot. It was fun to go back, down memory lane, like what you like to do. Miss Sentimental. But yeah, it was wonderful. It brought up feelings of, childhood and carefree.
Yes.
And, all of that time that we really grew together. And yeah, it was beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
Man, I just, for me, I really enjoyed, like you said, being able to get how we feel out. Mm-hmm. Also, being able to come together and let each other know during the times when you're having ups and downs, you still have a family.
Yes.
You still have us, and that also brings us to what we went through ourselves. We heard everybody else's story. They pretty much know about our story, but just you and I, when the foundation of what we knew as love, passion, togetherness, the whole, I guess you would say the rock of terracotta for us, which was our grandmother, Miss Clara McCullough. Shout out to my grandmother, our grandmother. When she passed away, and then how things got rocky and started for us. And that is when we experienced the homelessness ourselves. As far as in when Grandma passed, let's talk about her life for one. The things that, and we always share that with you guys on Pick Me Up Sis podcast, because our grandmother was very instrumental in our lives and helped us to pretty much be who we are today. With Grandma giving us a structured upbringing. No, our upbringing wasn't perfect, but with her hands in it, it was more structured, it was more spiritual, it was more learning who you are as a woman, how to treat people, all those different things. And so when that time comes and she passes away, like, how was that for you, Keisha?
Yeah, it was, I just remember that we were so hopeful that when she started telling us that she was sicker than what we thought.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we were in denial.
Yes.
And we kept saying, no, we're going to, go back to the doctor. The doctor, maybe he ran the test wrong.
Yes.
And she just kept trying to get us to understand, no, it's terminal.
Yeah.
So to hear the word terminal, that was, it was shocking, and at the same time, we couldn't imagine. I couldn't picture life without her.
Yeah.
So I didn't know where to go in my mind, in my thoughts. Terminal? What do you mean terminal? How much time? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I think, that was just, it was a lot. It was too much to take in. And I just recall like becoming very, like going through a time or a period of isolation.
Yes.
Like just wanting to isolate myself. I didn't want to talk about it. Even times whenever she would say, come here, I have to tell you guys what the doctor said. I didn't want to hear it. You know, I don't want to hear that. We're praying. We're praying.
Yes.
We don't believe in doctors, you know. I
Yes.
went through all of that. So that it was very hard.
Yeah. And for me, and Keisha, I do remember that with you. It was very hard for me too, because something that I always told Grandma all the time was, and nobody, don't practice this at home, okay? I'm just putting a little joke on it because it's very sad. But what I used to tell Grandma when we were younger, you remember, because I was like, Grandma, nobody's going to love me like you.
Oh,
know?
yeah.
And I would say, if something happens to you, I wouldn't want to live anymore.
Yes,
You remember I would say
remember.
that? Mm-hmm. And then she'd say, don't you say that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Lord wouldn't be pleased at you saying stuff like that. And, you know, but at that time when she passed, I didn't know how I was going to continue to live. I knew I had my sister, which is one of my favorite people in the world, you know. I knew I had you,
Yeah.
but I didn't know how we was going to do it. I didn't know. Like, if you think about it, we had never lived on our own. Yeah, we worked and stuff, but we never knew really, like, how life was out here being, like, responsible adults, and you get in your own place, and, you know, and then I just had a 2-week-old baby, you know, and it's like, oh my goodness, like, what do we do? What do we do? You know? Well, Grandma passed before I had Nigel,
Yeah.
but I'm saying when it really hit
Yeah.
and we were homeless.
Yeah.
Nigel was 2 weeks old when we got put out
Yeah.
of the house, you know? So it definitely affected us both at that time. And then having to go from place to place, living from place to place, and you and I were separated. But one thing about it, you're going to find out. I mean, you're going to come to where I'm at and bring some Pampers.
Yeah.
My sister was going to make sure her niece had Pampers. She was going to help me with milk, whatever. Just being a good big sister. Like, you know, I'm the one that had a baby first. So, and then living, you know, from place to place to place.
Yeah.
Trying to mourn.
Yes. Oof.
Trying to mourn the most powerful, inspirational person that we had in our lives. The one that was our certainty,
Yes.
really. The one that loved everybody,
Yeah.
and everybody loved her. So other people were impacted too, but for us, it was like, we didn't know what life was. We was like, what? What do we do now? Like, lost.
Yeah. Exactly.
Lost.
That's exactly right.
So to go through that homelessness and then afterwards go from place to place to place, that was hard on us. It really
Yes.
was.
That was so tough. It was a time where we felt abandoned. Like, we didn't know that our family, they could care less.
Yeah. We didn't know.
We had no clue. We didn't know that it was because of Grandma that people acted like they loved us. But when she closed her eyes,
Yeah.
we knew then they didn't mean a word that they said.
To us to the wolves.
Yeah, completely. And of course, you know, again, like you said, we didn't really know how to stand on our own because we were just entering into adulthood.
Yes.
You know, we were just 21. I was 21, you were 20. So, I mean, we didn't know anything about paying bills.
No.
Like you said, responsibility. And no one grabbed a hold to us and said, hey, I'm here for you. And while I'm here for you, let me help you
Right.
to stand, because right now, everything that you know to be true is gone.
Yes.
Your foundation, your security, your safe place, you know, everything. It's gone.
Yes.
So let me help you. Now you're going to have to catch up quick.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to teach you, but you got to be fast. You got to learn this. Not one person stepped in.
Nobody.
Not one. Thank God for our cousins, you know,
Yes.
Nitra, letting us come sleep on her couch.
Yeah. And Uncle Luther.
Uncle
Let
Luther.
me come and live with him.
Yeah. I mean, they made room.
Yes.
Nitra letting you, she had her own baby, you know,
Yes.
letting you come and stay in
With
her
her-
baby's room, and she
yes.
put her baby in her bed. And
Yes.
she was like, and I slept on the couch downstairs.
Yes.
But
And that allowed us to get back together.
it
Be
did.
around each other.
We came back
again.
together. But it was hard. It was hard not having clothes. It was hard, you know, many times you're stuff in boxes.
Yeah.
You know, one big box and you got to lug it from, you know, house to house.
And then the cot bed.
Yeah,
Having a cot bed. A fold-up bed.
yeah, yeah. And it was different. It was
Yes.
different. It was difficult. But at the same time, you know, I just figured, you know what? It's either going to make us or break us.
Yeah. And it made us.
And I said, you know what, Grandma? She always said, you girls, y'all are smart girls.
Yes.
Y'all will figure things out. Stick together and figure it out.
Yeah. Figure it out.
And so that's what we would do. We stuck together and we started trying to figure it out.
Yes.
And with her, you know, with you having Nija, that was reason for us to figure it out.
Figure it out.
We couldn't quit because we had a little bitty baby.
Yes.
You know, and my niece, I wanted her to have everything.
Yes. And I did too. You know.
So we had to figure it out.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
And
that was
we've
tough.
done good, haven't we, Keisha?
I thank the Lord.
I thank God too.
Yeah.
But the thing is, God never left us.
He never left us.
And the things that sometimes that you feel happen to you, it really happens for you because it helps you. Like, it helped me to go even harder,
Yeah.
you know, to also talk to God about my life. Don't feel like that I can't do this. Talk to God about it.
Yeah.
Let him give you the strength. Because guess what? He never left us. If that didn't show me that he wouldn't leave us, I don't know what will.
Yeah. Exactly.
He didn't leave us. He
And
opened doors for us.
He did. He really did. And for myself, I, you know, I learned quick that I couldn't depend on people, but after it happened, I was trying to like lean on, you know, a boyfriend or, you know, trying to find, I still wanted things to be normal.
Yes.
Even though she was gone, I was like, well, I'll still keep my boyfriend, you know, and that'll give me some type of normalcy, you know.
Yeah.
But then the boyfriend didn't want to be there. And I was like, what are you doing? You know,
Yes.
you're supposed to be here for me. But we were young, you know,
Yeah.
people had their own life. But so then, of course, that made me cling to you and Nija even harder,
Yeah.
you know.
And you can always cling to me.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, and for myself, at the time, my kids that was, you know, incarcerated, you know. So, of course, I didn't have him there for me either,
Yeah.
you know, with having our first child, you know. So it was hard, you know, very, very hard.
Yeah.
But one thing that we can always say too is we have each other.
Yes.
And we do a good job of that. We love each other. Y'all, I'm mushy, she's not.
I'm not.
But but we have each other. We've always been close. We're still close. We're doing life together forever. Lord,
Jesus'
continue to
name.
give us more and more years to just experience each other on a high level. And thank you for allowing. And I had to close my eyes because that's my prayer.
Yeah.
You know, Keisha is one of my favorite people. She is my favorite person. And
Thank
I'm
you,
thankful that we have been able to go through good, hard, ugly, bad, pretty, all kinds of times together,
Yes.
and still remain close.
Yeah.
Still remain close. So I'm grateful for that, and I'm also grateful that we both have a relationship with God.
Yes.
Yeah, and my sister will be getting her ordinance. Am I saying it right?
Ordination.
Ordination. Okay. Ordination in October. She knows I was gonna put that out there, but I am. So I'm proud of her for that. Keisha, I'm super proud of you. Yeah. So I will be there. Also, I'm just thankful that we have remained consistent with each other. And if there are other sisters out there that you feel like your relationship could possibly be better, you know, we want to inspire you and encourage you that you only get one life to live.
Yes.
And what better person to do it with than your sister
Yeah.
or your brother,
That's so true.
you know? So we want to inspire you and encourage you.
Yeah.
Form that bond in those relationships and love on each other. We're not here forever.
That's so true.
Yeah. Enjoy your sister or brother.
And take responsibility to do your part.
Yes.
You know, sometimes if your sister is, because like Wendy said, we've been close, but we've experienced arguments.
Yeah, when we were younger.
Yeah, arguments and disagreements, and I'm mad at you, and don't call me anymore. She called,
I'll be like, Keisha.
No, you get on my nerves. We've gone through those things because, of course, we're siblings. That happens, but instead of looking at her, I think to myself, okay, what can I do? What can I still do to show her, whether you acting right or not, I'm still going to do my part.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm going to do
too.
my part.
Yes.
And then she does the same for me. You know.
That's what Grandma taught us.
Yeah, she did.
It is.
Because Grandma, you know, she would get upset if we were constantly pointing the finger. Well, she did this, she did that. Grandma would say, well, what did you do?
Yeah.
What did you do? You so busy telling on, what'd you do?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't do nothing. I didn't, right. You know.
Y'all better go in there and make it right.
Go make it right.
Yeah.
Fix it. Because that's all you got.
That's all you got, your sister.
That's all you got. And so we, on purpose, you know, we're intentional about it.
Yes.
And we make it make sense.
Yes.
Even when it don't make sense. You know, we make it make sense.
Yes. Yeah.
Because that's it. That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's room for any excuses.
It's not. Especially when God ordained it for you to be siblings.
Yeah. Yeah.
God did that. You didn't go and choose your sibling. I always give him big ups for giving me. Oh my gosh. I'm like, Lord, you didn't pick one on this relationship right here. But God ordained it. So the thing is, if it's happening that you and your sibling maybe can't see the eye to eye, and this is, I don't know what God is taking me here, but if you can't see eye to eye, you know what? Talk to God about it. And then not only that, like what Keisha said, see whatever it is that you can do to help your relationship, you know, and pray about it. And I'm telling you, God will turn that thing around.
That's right.
He will turn that thing around. I've seen relationships that, you know, some siblings feel like, well, we haven't talked in years and years and years, 20 years and stuff. And I'm like, really? You know, and my heart go out to them.
Yeah.
And then I had shared one time, you know, with them, well, you know what? Maybe you should just do something different. Reach out to them, stuff like that. Now they may not be completely close, but they are talking to each other.
Yeah.
And working on their relationship.
That's right. And you know, forgiveness, we are supposed to forgive.
We're supposed to.
All the time. Now, forgiveness doesn't always mean reconciliation.
Yes.
You know, sometimes things happen. Sometimes people push things to a point of no return. You know, sometimes that happens within, you know, those relationships, siblings. Sometimes they just really say, no, this, you know, you're too toxic, which is unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
But forgive, have a forgiving heart. That way, between you and God, you're still okay.
Yes.
And pray for them. You know, pray for them. You might not be able to be reconciled back together, you know, but like you said, over time,
Over time.
prayer, forgiveness, at least you're on speaking terms again.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you don't want to miss out on a lot of special moments. Sometimes siblings have children, you know, nieces and nephews, and all those different things,
Yeah.
you know. So we just wanted to share that with you all. At that time, in our hardest moments of being homeless and everything, Keisha and I were able to, of course, depend on God
Yes.
and be there for each other, because we were going through it together.
Together.
So
That's
togetherness is something that's important. We've been through the fire, the storm, laughter, happy times, and pain.
A lot.
And we
And
still have
something too,
togetherness.
we had to learn how to navigate that. Sometimes I was in my room or, you know, over at my friend's house, grieving. Nobody knew it. You know, Wendy was over at Uncle Luther's house with her baby, you know, grieving, but our cousins were there for her. At times we didn't really talk, you know, how are you? Are you grieving? We didn't know. We were going through it. It was hard.
Yeah, and we were two separate places with two separate rules and households and all of that.
Yes.
So we were trying to mourn and all that.
We were. But at the same time, we knew that whenever, like, say for instance, if she was emotional or, you know, she had just had a baby, so hormones raging or something like that, and, you know, she might be very sensitive in that moment if I said something, you know, I knew I took it personal a little bit, like, what is wrong with you, you know, a little bit, but at the same time, we get off the phone and I would say, I'm not paying her no attention. I'll talk to her next week, you know, or something like that. And she did the same thing.
Yes.
What am I saying? She gave grace.
Yes.
I gave grace.
Yes.
You know, sometimes don't take it personal.
Yes.
I think that leaves room for that forgiveness as well.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So, guys, if you are in a place where you feel like that you would like to reconcile with your sister, well, your brother or whoever, reach out to them. Reach out to them. It's not too late. Reach out to them because you never know what they're going through right now that you could help them through. You know? So, you have anything else you want to say? Oh, what's wrong with it?
No, I was trying to, I don't know.
Oh, she got a nice voice, y'all, don't
No.
she? Doing at the top.
She doesn't sound like that, but
It's all right. I mimic too, okay? But yes, do you have anything to say to anybody?
Well, again, shout out to Nitra.
Yes. And Uncle Luther.
Dee Dee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tamika.
Kevin. The whole Armstrong household. Uncle Luther's household.
Yes.
Shout out to them. Of course, Tasha.
Oh, definitely, Tasha. Yes.
Yes, of course, Tasha. Back then, her name was Andrea Dixon.
But
Tamika Dixon.
Yeah, Tamika.
But now she's married, Andrea
Reed.
Reed. Tamika Reed.
Yep. Andrea Reed.
Yep, she was there for us. A lot of people were there for us. So
Yes.
very thankful.
So this is another episode of Pick Me Up Sis podcast. This was the continuation of the Family Ties series, speaking on homelessness. Make sure that you tune in again for our next episode.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Thank you
right.
for watching.
Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.
Oh.